I used to smile in front of everyone, pretending everything was fine. But inside, I was breaking. My nights were longer than my days. I trusted people who left me empty. I gave love that was never returned. I poured myself into dreams that collapsed before my eyes. One night, I sat alone in the dark. I realized I was waiting for someone to save me, but no one was coming. It had to be me. That was the night my silence began to build me. It wasn't easy, but it was real. Pain introduced me to the version of me I never knew. Every morning, I woke up heavy. My chest felt like it carried stones. I smiled for the world, but my soul screamed for relief. I worked hard but felt empty. I surrounded myself with noise so I wouldn't face the silence. I was alive, but I wasn't living. Then I learned that silence wasn't my enemy. It was my mirror. In silence, I faced my wounds. I admitted the truths I once ran from. And in that silence, I began to heal. The weight grew lighter. I realized healing doesn't always need applause, it just needs honesty. I lost people I thought would never leave. Friends stopped calling. Love turned into distance. My circle grew smaller than I ever imagined. I asked myself if I was the problem. I replayed every word, every mistake. I tried harder, but no matter what, they kept walking away. Then I realized sometimes loss is protection. Sometimes people leave because their season in your life has ended. Not everyone is meant to stay. And when I accepted that truth, I found peace. The people who remained were real. My circle was small, but it was pure. At night, the silence grew louder. Every thought replayed like a broken record. I felt trapped in memories that refused to let me rest. I begged for distractions, anything to escape my mind. But no matter where I turned, the silence followed me like a shadow I couldn't lose. One night, I stopped running. I sat with the silence. I cried. I prayed. I listened. And slowly, silence began to teach me peace. It wasn't the silence that hurt, it was me avoiding it. When I embraced it, I found answers. Silence became the place I started healing. I hated mirrors. They reminded me of everything I lost. Every reflection looked like someone weaker, broken, and unworthy of another chance. I avoided my own eyes, afraid of what I might see. I wore masks in public, pretending to be strong. But inside, I was crumbling. One day, I forced myself to look. I whispered, "You're not finished yet." It was shaky, but it was the first time I spoke hope to myself. And slowly, the mirror stopped showing me weakness. It started showing me survival. I wasn't broken, I was becoming unbreakable. One day, everything crashed. I couldn't hold back the tears anymore. I sat on the floor, broken, wondering if life was even worth it. Every failure replayed, every betrayal stung. My body shook from the weight of years of pain I never spoke about. I was drowning in silence. But in that moment, I realized something powerful. Sometimes you have to break before you rebuild. That breakdown was my chance to restart. And from those tears, I found clarity. It wasn't the end, it was the beginning. Rock bottom became the foundation I built new strength on. Starting over felt impossible. My past screamed louder than my future. I was scared, uncertain, and tired of failing again. I told myself I'd try tomorrow, then tomorrow again. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Fear froze me in the same place. Until one day, I took one small step. It wasn't perfect, but it was movement. That one step reminded me I wasn't powerless. And from that step came another. Soon, momentum replaced fear. I wasn't where I wanted to be yet, but I was no longer stuck. I worked in silence. No applause, no recognition. Some days it felt like no matter what I did, nothing was changing. Doubt whispered in my ear, "What if this is pointless?" Still, I kept going. The silence of my effort felt heavier than the failures I left behind. But slowly, things shifted. Not overnight, not dramatically, but my consistency started shaping me into someone stronger, someone disciplined. The world didn't see the hours, but I did. And one day, the results spoke louder than the silence ever could. The road felt empty. Friends disappeared. Crowds vanished. I thought success would bring company, but instead, it left me walking alone. Loneliness echoed in every step. Doubts asked me if I was on the wrong path. My heart ached for someone to walk beside me. Then I realized maybe the road was lonely because it wasn't meant for everyone. The path to growth isn't crowded, it's chosen. And that truth gave me peace. I wasn't abandoned. I was chosen to walk a road that only a few have the strength to walk. I wanted big victories fast, but chasing too much left me empty. Every day felt like I wasn't moving at all. I ignored the small wins. I brushed past progress because it wasn't dramatic enough. My hunger for more blinded me from gratitude. Then I realized every little win mattered. Small victories stacked into habits. Habits created consistency. Consistency created transformation. Now I celebrate every step. Joy isn't found in the finish line, it's built along the way. And each small win keeps me moving forward. I carried burdens that weren't mine. Expectations, opinions, and judgments weighed on my shoulders until I could barely breathe. I tried to please everyone. No matter how much I gave, it was never enough. The weight only grew heavier each day. One morning, I dropped it. I realized I wasn't built to carry their opinions, only my purpose. And that freedom felt like air. Walking lighter, I finally saw the road ahead. The weight was gone, and for the first time, I felt alive. I looked at my scars with shame. Each one reminded me of the times I fell, failed, and bled from battles I thought I lost. I covered them, hoping no one would notice. I believed scars meant weakness, proof that I was broken and unworthy of love. But then I learned scars are proof I survived. They weren't signs of weakness, but reminders that I made it through. Now, I wear them proudly. Every scar tells a story of strength, and I'm grateful for every battle that left its mark.